we generally don't use the word caretaker. So not caretakers per se, it's just out of their love is why they do what they do. On our adventure.
Ah, you're freezing cold here.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. The busy week continues, and thankfully I am feeling better than yesterday. I'm not feeling fantastic, but a little better than yesterday, and that is a small victory I'm gonna celebrate because bad health days are bound to happen when you're chronically ill, so I just take the days as they come and I celebrate what I can. So anyways, today I'm going to immigration to do fingerprints for a thorough background check to get my citizenship. No, I am not a US citizen. I am a citizen of the UK and Canada. I was born in London, and my dad develops high-end resorts, so we would go wherever the resorts were. So we spent some time in New Delhi, India, and Jakarta, Indonesia, a small island called Anguilla in the Caribbean, St. Martin, which is next to Anguilla, some time in California, Ohio, Las Vegas, Nevada. Like, we went all over the place. But I did most of my schooling here in Florida. Parents were divorced, so I'd travel and see my dad, and sometimes I'd live with my dad. So, of course, when I became really sick at age 15, I didn't travel so much anymore, but it was really neat. And I know y'all want me to do a Draw My Life video, but I'm working on other videos right now, and I gotta figure out how to do my Draw My Life video, but I promise I will attempt to do that sometime in the future. Oh, and my citizenship was underway before I married Judd, so don't go there. So the fingerprints are the second to last step. I do the fingerprints and then I have a final evaluation where they will grant me my citizenship. And I have to know like things like who our governor is, my representatives, so just basic stuff. And that is when I can actually change my name. Because to change my name from Jaquie Blake to Jaquie Beckwith, which I want to do, they need me to change my name on my permanent resident card first. So I figured I might as well just wait until I can bring my marriage license to that final evaluation and they'll change everything for me there. So right now I'm still Jaquie Blake, but in my heart I am Jaquie Beckwith. On the way to get fingerprints done, Harlow is back to work from her day off. And while we were in the car, I made all the phone calls I needed for my custom wheelchair. I called insurance. They do cover custom lightweight wheelchairs, which is awesome. They told me everything I needed to do. Then I found a durable medical equipment company in Tampa who I want to work with. They provide Tylight brand wheelchairs, which is what I'm interested in. And then my doctor faxed them the script and clinicals, which is basically all the information on my medical history and why I need a wheelchair. And then the company I'm working with from start to finish takes about 3 months to get me my wheelchair. They are going to look over everything my doctor sent them. Then they send somebody to my home to evaluate my home to make sure the wheelchair will work well in there. And then they're going to send a physical therapist to evaluate me, measure my body, and see what is the perfect wheelchair for me. So I may not get Tylight, but there's many different options, and they're going to find the perfect custom wheelchair for me, and then they're going to build it specifically to what I need, and that's amazing. So that's why it takes 3 months. It is a long process, but totally worth it. And I'm really excited to get things going. And now to the immigration office. I cannot film in there, I do not think, but it's just getting fingerprints. Y'all know what that's like. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. We made it! Fingerprinting went well, and they gave me this so I can study for the final portion, which is a test. Ta-da! There you go. My dad's hair was looking a little crazy.
Is that better?
Yeah.
And this side, put it down.
It's at that awkward length where it won't go down. Harlow, don't eat his hair gel.
Hello. Here. You helping me? They're picking on me, baby.
We can tow it. We can tow it behind us.
No, we cannot tow the...
You put it in the back. I'll get it.
Mom, you're in the middle of the road. You can't park here. You're blocking the whole road. Straighten out, please.
Stop in the middle of the road.
Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to Menchie's for some frozen yogurt before my parents head out of town, and in the rush to leave, we forgot my walker outside the car. I should have said something because it was on my side, but you know, we're crazy. That's okay.
Dog. Jaquie. Dad.
Walker.
Walker.
We have to make sure we have everything we need.
We need a checklist every time we get out of your house.
Apparently we leave things behind. My mom just made a good point.
Well, this is all new for me because, you know, even though she's my daughter, I was living in Jacksonville and I came here once in a blue moon or once in a while. But now that I'm like going to be here, you know, I have to learn all the steps to get her into the house, out of the house, into the car, out of the car. And we just left the walker and I say, well, at least we didn't leave Harlow behind. You know, because he just sits there and doesn't say anything, you know. So
basically,
at least we didn't forget him, you know.
Basically, she's saying that she's new to this and it does take some getting used to be I don't like to say caretaker per se, but she is stepping up and being more of my, like, an additional caretaker in addition to Judd, and it does take some getting used to. It's not just gonna happen all of a sudden. She knows exactly what to do.
Exactly.
And
she's gonna
bank down here if you go down far enough.
Oh, my dad needs a bank, but it does take some getting used to, and that's okay. She's gonna learn as she goes, and she's doing a great job. And we have some exciting news. My mom is leaving Jacksonville and moving here. She's leaving her job, starting a new job and everything, and moving to Tampa Bay to be near Judd and I to help even more. And we are so grateful for that selflessness and love my mom is giving us. So
Bank or an ATM.
we are,
Yes.
my dad, we are just so grateful for her. We got some delicious munchies. My mom didn't get any, she doesn't like this stuff.
Too sweet.
But it's awesome. Harlow loves my dad. Made it back home, started my second infusion for the day, said goodbye to my amazing parents, and I'm really surprised and thankful I was able to eat at Menchie's because the past few days my oral intake has been pretty bad. Usually I manage about 400 calories a day, but my bloating, nausea, and stomach pain has been worse than usual, and so this morning I turned down the rate on my feeding tube pump from 35 milliliters an hour to 20. And that has helped with my symptoms, so that means I'm not tolerating my feeds very well, which can happen if my GI issues are flaring more than usual. So gonna give myself a break from the feeds by lowering the rate, but I do need to put it back up by tonight because it's more important for me to get my nutrition from my formula, because that gives me a complete diet rather than oral intake, because obviously my stomach doesn't work well, hence the gastroparesis and the need for the feeding tube. I also made a new video called No More Diet Suggestions, Please. It's a very short video that, in the politest, kindest way possible, explains why I feel the need to say no more diet suggestions, please. There's a link in one of these corners. And don't get me wrong, I'm really humbled with the fact that y'all care enough about me to make these recommendations, because I know y'all just care about my well-being, but you know, I've been sick for a long time. I know my body best, and I'm already doing all I can for my health while still allowing myself a bit of freedom. And it can just get tiring to continuously explain my dietary choices. So when somebody makes a diet recommendation, I'll link them to the video so they can see, oh, okay, this is why she does what she does. So I hope y'all can understand why I made it, and maybe you can check it out if you are so interested too. So anyways, now my home health nurse is on her way to see me. They come once a week now to check on me, see how my feeding tube's doing, my port, just to see how I'm doing health-wise in general. And I really like this setup, but gotta pull myself together for that visit. The nurse just came and it was a good visit, but I told her on the phone, I know you're probably used to this because you're a nurse, but I am a complete mess. I am extremely dizzy and fatigued. I could faint at any moment. I'm falling all over the place. My feeding tube leaked all over me. There's a lot of drainage at my feeding tube site. She was just like, don't worry about it. So my granulation tissue is getting better, but she said it could always come and go because it's from the friction of my tube rubbing against my skin and just causing irritation. And my feeding tube is always going to move because it's connected to my body and my body moves. But using a barrier between the tube and my skin, like a piece of gauze or the tubey pads, helps, and cleaning it helps, and what I'm doing is helping. And then I told her that I often have really intense nausea and sometimes vomiting early in the morning. And she told me if I'm laying flat at night, which I do, can contribute to that because it can cause reflux, especially since I'm on 24-hour feed. So she suggested sleeping at a 45-degree angle to see if that helps. So I'm gonna try that tonight. And other than that, everything is good. I'm gonna rest until Judd gets home because I am exhausted. Look who's home. He's back from his day at work.
Yep.
So we were talking about the word caretaker. And I even used the word earlier today. And if I use the word or somebody else uses the word, we're not gonna freak out. It doesn't bother us, but we generally don't use the word caretaker to describe Judd or my parents because, I don't know, he's not my caretaker, he's my husband. And like my mom, we were saying how my mom's learning. She's moving here to help us more with me because Judd's starting his career. We need a little more help with managing me and my health, getting me to my appointments. If I'm hospitalized, we need a little more help here. And so she's moving here to do that, and she's learning all of this stuff, how to do my infusions, my IV meds, how to handle my angioedema attacks. Like today, we left the walker out of the car and just, you know, stuff like that. It does not come naturally. It's like a learning experience. And
took me a long time to learn about everything, and I still learn about stuff.
And he's a pro.
Every day.
I consider him a pro.
So.
But, you know, these people don't do it for me. I mean,
These people.
I don't mean to speak for you.
These people. And so you hear what she calls us, these people.
Shush. They don't do it for me out of obligation. And when I hear, like, caretaker to me makes it sound like an obligation. They do it out of love. You know, my parents had me, and they had a child, and from that, they were doing everything, you know, to care for me. And they didn't expect me to get sick, but I did. And so through their love is why they care for me. They're not obligated to. Through Judd's love, right?
Oh, so that's what you want to call it.
I would hope, is why he cares for me. And through that love is why he helps me with all my chronic illnesses.
Yeah, I never really knew I was a caretaker until, you know, well, as most of you will know, Jack wasn't sick when we first started dating. And it first started out with an narcolepsy. Shush, let me talk.
I just need
you have an entire vlog to talk. Yeah, I didn't know I was a caretaker until my mom was just like, "Oh, you're such a good caretaker," and I was just like, "What?" Like, I thought she was just my girlfriend. Like, that's it. I just thought what any other normal person would do, not just, you know, a regular old douchebag out there. But
Don't curse.
but and then I just started picking up, you know, started helping where I could, and started, you know, creating a little routine. But Jack wasn't always sick. Like, she wasn't sick like this when we first started dating. She just started narcolepsy, and that was one thing.
I had signs and symptoms my whole life, but things didn't really go into overdrive until just a few months after we started dating. I was 15, he was 16.
Yeah. Jack, I should never feel burdened by her. And if I ever do, I just say, hey, I'm tired. Like, by the way, I know you're tired and you need a lot of help today, and I'm gonna try and help you as much as I can. Like, this week has been horrible for me because every day has been outside in the blistering sun, coming home exhausted. It's been a real treat having her mom here, but I still need things that I've needed to do, and you know, say I'm tired, but this stuff's got to get done, and to help her out. And she's way more tired and way more in pain than I do, but not that she ever says, oh, your back hurts. Well, oh, let me tell you about my day.
Yeah,
I never puts me down like that.
Even though my pain may be worse, I may be more tired, I never invalidate when he's not feeling good either, because he's a human. He can feel bad too. So basically the whole thing is, we don't, when I say we, in our family, we don't think of like Judd or my mom or my dad as caretakers. We think of them as people who love me and will do everything.
Family. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And, like, she's my wife. I don't think of her as sick. I think of her as my wife. Like, that's Jack. That's just what she is.
So not caretakers per se. It's just out of their love is why they do what they do.
I'd imagine if you were healthy, we'd go to the beach a lot more often.
Probably, but this.
But then we wouldn't have Hippo.
Yeah.
We'd have a dog.
Probably not Harlow, but this is
not Hippo though.
This is the life we live, and I love living this life with you.
Aww.
I know. What are you doing? just ready for it as it's going down. Hello. Is he picking on you? No, don't make her start biting her bandana. Look what you started. Harlow, drop that. Let that go. No. Oh my gosh.
I grabbed your tail.
Well, our day is coming to an end, and we gave our little spiel on how we feel about the word caretaker. I mean, it is just a word. Again, if we use it in passing or somebody else says it, we're not gonna freak out. I mean, Harlow's my caretaker. Obviously, she does everything she does for me out of love and a desire to. She wouldn't work if she didn't enjoy it and if she didn't want to do it, but that is our day, and thank you so much for joining us on our adventure.